What's up, YouTube? Scott A Tradition back with another video. Got a two-card mail day that we're going to go through, and just a couple updates on some other things. So, um, first of all, I guess we'll talk about there was an auction that ended at Memory Lane just on Sunday night here that I was following pretty closely. It had the 1948 Buford Ray, which is a card for the Packers Team Hall of Fame set, and ended up missing out on that card, unfortunately. It was something I had my eye on as soon as it came out, as soon as I knew that it was in that auction. And, I had recently lost out on another auction at REA where I was bidding against a friend of mine. And this one went sort of the same way. I don't know who actually won the card, but actually ended up selling for over $11,000, with tax and shipping, which is insane considering the last card sold for about $32.50. That was, about 5 years ago, and it's not a big name. Most people have never heard of this guy, but certainly that card had a lot of like momentum behind the bidding on that one, and over 11,000. So that's insane. So I was not able to upgrade my PSA 7. So I guess I will continue to watch for another PSA 8, but there are only 6 of them in existence, with only 2 graded higher. And it seems like that card has left the stratosphere a bit for me to possibly upgrade. So unfortunately, did not win that one. You can see the movie I have here. One of my favorite movies of all time, The Last Castle, starring Robert Redford and James Gandolfini. Mark Ruffalo's in it as well. Robert Redford just passed away today at the age of 89, and was involved in a lot of stuff. Of course, sports fans will know him for The Natural, which is a great movie, but also Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid was a classic Western as well. But this is my favorite movie that he's in, and it's called The Last Castle. James Gandolfini, one of my favorite actors of all time, and man, I just really... this is a great movie. Basically, Robert Redford plays a military leader that was in prison for a decision he made, and ends up leading a bunch of men in the prison and rebelling against the warden, who is played by James Gandolfini. It's a military prison, and it just I really enjoyed that movie, so that's why I have that one out today. So let's go through the pickups that I got in. The first one, 2022 Topps Allen and Ginter Charlie Barron's autograph card. So check that out. How cool is that? This one has the Go Pack Go inscription on it. There are a few of these out there on eBay if you search for them. A lot of them will have the little sayings like cripes or ope, which... So for those of you who don't know Charlie Barron's, he is a comedian specializing in upper Midwest comedy, specifically Wisconsin comedy, and has a huge following in social media, like over 10 million people. And he really hits it on the head, that Wisconsin type humor and like kind of how we see the world. And I just love Charlie Barron's. Just a good dude. You can see the back of the card here. If we read the back, Barron's has pulled off the rare trifecta of being a celebrated comedian, an Emmy Award-winning journalist, and a New York Times best-selling author. He also created the Manitowoc Minute, a weekly comedic video series that inspired a comedy tour that played to sold-out theaters. Charlie's observational humor centers around the quirks of the Midwest, which, as a native of Wisconsin, he knows well. So, love Charlie Barron's. He's not super political or anything, but that's probably why so many people like him, so many people follow him. He just truly captures like what it's like in the Midwest, and just the types of people that are up here. So love Charlie Barron's, and this is the only Go Pack Go inscription that I was able to find. Like I said, there's a lot of other ones, but this one obviously is perfect for my collection with the Go Pack Go inscription. And you can see it's in a CGC holder. This is my first CGC card. I really like the encapsulation, actually. It feels really solid, sturdy, very clear, almost glass-like are the slabs. So that's kind of one thing I get to knock off the list. My first Charlie Barron's auto and my first CGC slab in the collection. So that's pretty cool. Next up here, so when I knew that I likely wasn't going to win that Buford Ray card at Memory Lane, I went after another Packers card. Now this one's a little bit different story. I had my eye on this one for over a year, at least a year, maybe a longer, on eBay, and it just sat there. And the seller really never lowered the price. It just kind of sat as a buy it now. He never even had a best offer on it. So finally, I'm like, you know what? I would love to buy this card. I've had my eye on it for a long time, and he didn't have a best offer, so I just messaged the seller, and I'm like, look, this is what I'd feel comfortable paying for the card. Would you accept, X amount of dollars? And he said, you know what? He's like, that sounds good. So basically, we made a deal for what I was comfortable paying for the card, and this is the card. This is the 1950 Bowman Ted Fritsch Sr. autograph card. And look at that. Obviously, the card, a little rough, but there's not a ton of Ted Fritsch autos out there. He passed away in 1979. He's a member of the Packers Team Hall of Fame, and he was only 58 years old when he passed in 79, so did not sign a ton of cards necessarily. This card is a Pop 1. There are no other 50 Bowman cards signed. And his rookie is actually 1948 Bowman, but I just didn't feel like that card even exists or would even come up. So I saw the 50 Bowman, and I decided to bring it down. Ted Fritsch is an absolute stud for the Packers. So we'll set him up over there in the back. And just a few things about Mr. Fritsch. There was a Chicago sports writer from the Chicago Tribune at the time named Ed Prell who described his running style as a berserk billy goat. And he played multiple positions for the Packers in the 1940s, including linebacker, kicker, and running back. When he retired in the mid-1950s, he was second on the Packers' all-time scoring list behind only Don Hutson, so a very significant player in Packers history. Was the third leading rusher all-time when he retired as well, as far as yards go. In the 1944 NFL championship game against the New York Giants, which the Packers won 14-7, he was responsible for both of the touchdowns the Packers scored in that game. A native of Spencer, Wisconsin, which is a small town by Marshfield, attended UW-Stevens Point and eventually would play for the Packers, so very Wisconsin regional-centric guy. So at the end of the day, this card is just too rare to leave sitting on eBay for any longer. So I decided to make a deal for the card at a price I was comfortable paying, and the seller accepted, which is awesome. And I finally have a Ted Fritsch autograph in the collection. As far as what's going on in sports, well, there's only about 2 weeks left in the baseball season, and the Brewers still have the best record in baseball somehow, which is absolutely insane. They've cooled down a little bit. They had won 13 straight games in August. They've cooled down a little bit, and they've won a few and lost a few in the last week or so. They get back after tonight. Currently still 5 games up on the Cubs in the NL Central. But what's the bigger story up around here has been the Packers and the way they've started. I mean, holy cow. I thought that Micah Parsons would have been definitely a help on the team, but he's been like a revelation. He's basically freeing up everybody else in the defense. Lucas Van Ness, Rashawn Gary, Edgerrin Cooper. The whole team is just astronomically better than last year on defense. A lot of that is the second year under Jeff Hafley, so more players know his system that second year now. And if you watch any of the highlights, Micah Parsons is being double and triple team. I think he was responsible for 10 pressures alone in the last game he played, and he only played 30 snaps because they're still ramping him up. He's not even in football shape yet, which is insane. Week 1, the Packers allowed 13 points to the Lions. It should only be 6 points. The Lions had a garbage touchdown at the end of the game, which literally didn't matter at all. So only 6 real points allowed there. And you saw the Lions against the Bears on Sunday put up 52 points. So the Lions seem like they're just going to be fine for the most part. They still have a ton of good players on that team, but they only could score 6 real points against the Packers, which just talks a lot about that defense. And then they played the Commanders here this past Thursday and beat them. That was never even a game. Parsons was all over the place. The defense was just killing it. Kayshawn Nixon at corner had 5 pass breakups. I don't recall the last time any Packer ever had 5 pass breakups in a game. Like, and I think a lot of it has to do with the Micah Parsons effect. It's just been crazy. Unfortunately, in that game, the Packers lose wide receiver Jaden Reed for 6 to 8 weeks due to a collarbone fracture, which I'm sure he will have surgically repaired here soon. That's typically a 6 to 8 week injury, so that's unfortunate. They do have some other options on offense, but there's just going to be injuries. You just hope it's not to the key positions. So really excited with the Packers start. They play the Cleveland Browns coming up here on Sunday, so hoping to get after them in that game. And then just to finish up with the Badgers, they started out 2-0, but didn't really play anybody. And then this past Saturday, they got absolutely walloped by Alabama, which was never a game. And I am very not high on the Badgers football. This is year 3 of Luke Fickell, and they didn't look good at any of their wins even to start the year, and they didn't look good in this one. Completely outclassed by Alabama in every way that you can be. They have zero identity on offense. They can hang on defense for a little while, but their offense is completely non-existent, not complimentary at all. And Luke Fickell, I don't know how long he's going to be around, but it's just a matter of time. They might give him another year or two, but the answer is no. He is not the guy. I watched Badger football since I was 6 years old, and he ain't it. I think they got it wrong. I'm sorry. They're going to need to go back to the drawing board on that one. So that's all I got, everybody. Again, 2 pickups here. Very unique Wisconsin pickups. And rest in peace to Mr. Robert Redford. Hope you guys are all having a great day. We'll talk to you again soon.